given, then it goes to the jury, and the jury makes a decision away from the officials who are on the mat. So there's impartial officials who are the jury, who are the top officials, and they sit not in their black shirts and gray pants, they sit in their suits and ties.
That's it, living up on the sidelines with the ringside seat. You've got the best view in the world for these World Championships as the officials get this one underway. DATUNASHVILI, as you said, so close after that collaboration between the judges. The decision went against him. He finds himself now going for the bronze here.
Actually, take that back. It wasn't in the quarterfinals. EISELE won the match against the wrestler from Sweden, Duberg. And it was a pretty close decision for him to get to the bronze medal match. So he actually was better for the calls that the official made and that he earned.
Well, EISELE, can he earn a bronze medal here? The German, slightly the smaller of the two in terms of leverage and length. DATUNASHVILI, can he stretch away here? Passivity warning, that'll help him.
2 passivity calls against EISELE. 1 point on the board for DATUNASHVILI.
The referee makes the call halfway through the opening period here. This is the under 80 kilogram grouping. They're getting bigger and bigger. And the biggest of all, the 130 kilogram, the heavyweight men, on their way for your entertainment. A little bit of passivity perhaps against Germany.
So to the untrained eye, and maybe even the trained eye, there's been 3 calls against EISELE and none against DATUNASHVILI. So I'm a little confused about why those calls are only going against EISELE. Obviously, I'm not officiating the match, but they are being confirmed right there. EISELE dropped the forehead right to the eye. The taped eye of DATUNASHVILI, that smarts after a little bit.
It's also smart strategy from Pascal. EISELE going for the eyeball of DATUNASHVILI. There's both of them eye victory here, and it's another passivity call. DATUNASHVILI benefiting. And as we creep towards the end of this period, I'm going to ask you a slightly controversial question. I've stayed away from it a little bit, but I think this is a good time to do it as we watch the clock tick down in the last 20 seconds. I'll give due deference to the athletic action. But as this one comes to a close, how many of these matches have been decided by expansive technical wrestling, and how many of these matches have been decided by passivity points? Is the balance right? Are the rules right? And what changes, if any, would be required? That was about 19 questions.
That was a lot of questions. I'll say that there are too many matches that are decided by passivities. One of the things that many people didn't like about Greco-Roman, or many of the officials didn't like, was going down to parterre.
Yep.
I think you see a lot more gut wrenches, reverse lifts, jumping around the front headlocks like was happening during the Olympic Games when we go to parterre. If I had my druthers and I was making the rules, I would like to see more on the mat wrestling. Now, in American folk style wrestling, we do a lot of wrestling on the mat. And so I like to watch the ground and pound, if you may, getting on the ground and fighting for gut wrenches. To me, that is one of the beauties of the sport, is the parterre wrestling.
Well, lots to ponder, lots to think about here in Paris. Is parterre worthy of a return? I'm sure you all have your own opinion wherever you are, but it's a little bit frustrating because sometimes you don't showcase the very best of the athletes. They're having to work even harder to score even less.
Absolutely, and they're not scoring. Yeah. They're being given points, in my opinion, in a lot of times. Now, that's the rules. The officials don't make the rules. They have to enforce the rules. And in this match, to me, I don't think there should have been 4 passivity calls against 1 athlete when no technical points have been scored. So that to me should be fair and even and equitable. However, obviously these officials are seeing something different than I am.
It's not We're not having a dig at the officials, we're not looking at that. It's making sure, as we see the reversal this time, with the point gone on the board for EISELE, is to make sure that the rules allow the athletes to have a platform to flourish. That's what you want for your sport. And that, well, that's a discussion you can have, and I'm sure you do have.
The rules have changed. There's a lot of fluidity to the rules over the years. In 1996 Olympics, it was the first person to score 3 points, and there was caution in ones and all kinds of, and it was just, it came down to so much subjective officiating. Then it went to overtime, and when it went to overtime, it wasn't the first point, and then it went to referee's decision. So I think the referee's decision in these matches comes a little bit earlier, because if they have to go to a jury and say, who do you want to win? Well, who do you want to win? Well, who do you want to win? And then they have to maybe cast some lots. In that situation, it's tougher.
For sure, and you spoke about time and the march-off time as the sport evolves. I think it's not a lack of action. I think before, in some sports, you worry, well, there's not enough action. There's plenty of action, but are the rules allowing the athletes to score? Because they're so good. They're cancelling each other out. But anyway, that debate will rage on as this battle rages on here. Last minute.
Duck under attempt by DATUNASHVILI. That's obviously his move, but that is the way he got pinned. He tried a duck under, came over top of the head and ripped him to his back, just like that.
Huge throw there. Comes it on its head. Wonderful stuff from EISELE. Can he go with the pin? Well, the rules matter little when you've got the quality of the German. How quickly fortunes change. Wonderful throw, arched through the air, landed perfectly, a huge throw. And how quickly fortunes change in this one, Brian. It happened again.
It happened again. EISELE controlled the left arm with a pull, and a headlock with the right arm took him right over to his back. And once he got to that, when your head's off the mat and you don't have anything to bridge off of, you're not coming off your back for the fall.
Pascal EISELE, by way of that incredible fall there, that huge throw. Well, we had a long debate about the rules, and EISELE said, you know what, quality counts, athleticism and technique, and he absolutely nailed that. A stick-on, huge throw, wonderful stuff. What a way to end.
Exclamation point.